I recently posted a video where I shared my monthly expenses for living in Costa Rica. I included some budgeting tips as well as my actual receipts and sample expenses from my time living in Heredia City. And after posting that video, I received lots of comments and questions that led me to realize I should have probably gone a little bit more in depth about the housing costs and housing options in Costa Rica. So in this video, I'm going to break down what you get for the money when it comes to renting or purchasing a home in Costa Rica. And so I think a great place to start is right here in the Tico Times, where they recently posted an article called Guanacaste's Property Surge: What It Costs to Live in Costa Rica's Hotspot. And if you're not familiar with Guanacaste, it is an extremely popular vacation destination, as well as a pretty popular destination for expats, digital nomads, and retirees. And so Guanacaste province is located on the Pacific Ocean near the border with Nicaragua in the northwestern part of the country. And really in Guanacaste, they have lifestyles for everyone, whether you're looking at potentially living in like a beach or surfing town like Tamarindo, or maybe you're looking for more of like a yoga, wellness retreat, relaxation, holistic wellness type of vibes in a place like Nasara, or you want to live completely off the grid. There is something for everyone in Guanacaste. And because of that, it is extremely popular. And so the article goes on to talk about how the housing market has recently been impacted. Just in the past 3 years, the housing costs based on the price per square meter has skyrocketed by up to 400%. In fact, according to the Observatory of Tourism, Migration, and Sustainable Development, real estate transactions in the province have topped $156 million in 2023 alone. So this means that homes that were previously selling for about $100,000 now are selling for $400,000 or even $500,000 or more. And I think it's important to keep in mind that this is just an average because, again, you can have a lifestyle that can be as rustic and minimalistic, like off the grid type of living, all the way up to super luxurious, golf course, beachfront, multi-million-dollar estates with all the amenities type of living. So this 400 to 500 is really just an average. So what does this mean for renting? So the article goes on to talk about how much rental prices have increased as well. So leasing a 20 square meter unit typically runs between $700 and $800 a month. Now, if you're watching this video and you currently live in the United States, you're probably thinking $700 to $800 a month for an apartment near the beach or in a tropical destination sounds really cheap, but it's important to remember the conversion from square meters to square feet. So when you look at the conversion, 20 square meters is actually only the equivalent of about 215 square feet. So by North American standards, that is like a micro studio. But what exactly does that look like? So I've pulled some examples to give you an idea, again, specifically of what you get for the money. And so the first example is right there in that sweet spot. For $750 a month, we have a furnished studio in Tamarindo with access to a pool. And so this is kind of the main image of the living area. You can see the bedroom and living area with the couch are all together, your dining area and everything, truly a studio. And we have air conditioning system there on the top, which is super important. Always double check that the AC is included, especially if you're living by the beach. So in the kitchen, if we take a closer look, you'll see we have a refrigerator, we have a microwave, we have a stovetop. They've included a couple small appliances like a coffee maker and a crock pot. But there's a couple things that you'll notice that are missing. So if you are from the States, you probably would be expecting to see an oven or a dishwasher. So for that $750, you're not getting those. But this honestly is pretty common. If you're living in Costa Rica, you don't always find ovens or dishwashers in apartments. So this is something that if it's important to you, is going to probably put you at a higher price point for whatever it is you're looking to rent or to purchase. If you're finding value in this video, please consider giving it a like. It helps YouTube to recommend it to other viewers just like you looking for information about Costa Rica. Now back to the video. And so if we scroll down to see what exactly is included with this unit, again, always important to read the fine print. It's $750 a month plus the cost of electricity. And that can vary greatly depending upon how much you plan on using that air conditioner. So keep that in mind. And so it says water, internet, and maintenance are included. So right there in that $750 price point, that kind of gives you an idea of what you can expect size wise and money wise in the heart of Guanacaste, near a more popular area like Tamarindo. But what if you have a smaller budget, or maybe you want to live a more modest lifestyle? We'll take a look at another listing where we have a 1-bedroom, 1-bath listed for $550 per month. And right off the bat, you can see it is a much more modest apartment. Unlike the previous unit, this one actually has that separate full bedroom, so it is a true 1-1. It's not a studio. And then inside the bedroom, we have air conditioning. It looks like they have a TV there on the wall. And then here's another view inside the kitchen where it looks like they do have a washer and dryer, and this is a first floor unit. But again, it's always important to check the fine print and see what is or is not included. Just because you see pictures of appliances in the listing does not mean they're going to be included in the actual property. It might be something to negotiate or something you'll have to purchase separately. So what do you get for that $550 a month? So they're allowing you to have a pet. It does include the AC and some parking. It's 15 minutes from Playa Grande, and they say that the $550 per month includes water and internet. So again, you're still going to have to pay for your electricity, and that can vary greatly depending upon how much you're running that AC. All right, so if you really want to stretch your budget, like how luxurious can you get in Guanacaste? And you could probably get even more luxurious than I'm about to show you, but this will kind of give you an idea of what an apartment that seems a little bit more like your typical luxury or semi-luxury apartment in the United States. And so we have this one listed at $1,550. So this apartment, you can see right away, it is very modern looking, very nice, updated furnishings, very light and bright and airy in here. Another look at the living room, you can see this does have a balcony area looking out onto some other buildings. If we look, you can see some stairs here on the right leading up to one of the bedrooms. It's more like a loft bedroom, and to be honest, I think it's probably some sort of an addition. They're calling this a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, but the loft space is actually pretty small. The kitchen, though, is fantastic. You can see we have a full refrigerator, even with an ice dispenser. There is a dishwasher, which is very rare. You have a full stove with a full oven and over-the-range microwave, lots and lots of counter space, and you have this huge bar area with seating for enjoying your meals. So really probably more typical of something you might find in the United States. We have here the bedroom, again, nice and bright and airy, and we have an area with a stackable washer and dryer and a laundry tub. Then onto the bathroom where it is extremely modern. You have that very nice walk-in shower. It has that modern vanity with a modern looking mirror and just a very pleasing modern aesthetic throughout the bathroom and really honestly throughout the entire apartment. And this is that upstairs bedroom. You can see the ceiling is kind of sloped here. So I'm pretty sure this is really more like a loft. Maybe you might want to use it as like a guest room or an office. So what exactly does this include for $1,550? As I mentioned, it's considered to be a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom unit. And as we scroll down to the details in the fine print, you'll see it does not include furnishings or appliances. So all those beautiful appliances that you saw are actually not included in the price. And so if you were considering renting this unit, you would have to purchase all of those appliances, which is going to dramatically increase your costs on the front end. So again, this is always something to take into consideration when you're thinking about renting a place in Costa Rica. Just because there's pictures of things in the listing doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be included. So that kind of gives you an idea. And so we go back to the article, it talks about some of the different price points in some of the other areas within Guanacaste province. One of them that it mentions is Liberia, which is the province's urban center, where they say it remains the most affordable with costs from $571 to about $2,200 per square meter. I do have a friend that lives in Liberia at the moment, and it actually is quite a bit more affordable. There are more options for various types of lifestyles. I personally, though, feel like the better value is in the Central Valley, like where I was living in Heredia City and some of the other cities around the capital of San Jose. If you'd like information about some of those neighborhoods, leave a comment below and I can include it in a future video. I hope you found this information helpful. If you found any value in this video, please consider giving it a like. Also consider subscribing to the channel. It really helps me to be able to provide more videos just like this for viewers like you looking for information about living, traveling, and working abroad. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time.